All right. Oh, snap. Okay. If. All right, that's not going to work. And. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay. That's better. Whew. So, hey, internet. It's been a long time. It's been a while. It's been a while since I did a live stream that I was actually engaged in. It was a long time since I did a live stream that I kind of wanted to actually talk and not just wait for communication, give it out. Um, and mostly because I was trepidant about who I was going to be talking to, I guess the audience, and I was just tired of having to perform. I used to love doing live streams, and that was probably around 8 years ago. Mobile live streams, and that was fun. It really was. Now, though, it's crazy difficult. The competition and the production has just gone way too high, and I can't compete with that, and I don't want to compete with that because I'm not at that level of tooth and nail fighting for views. I'm just a dude who is trying to live his life and do his thing. So all that preamble aside, I'm making this video because my wife and I are about to. That is awesome. I can actually. That is awesome. I can actually. That is even better. Wow. Okay, this is. I didn't know I could zoom in on a mobile. That's cool. So, my wife and I are about 4 days away, or 3 days, because on Monday we'll be going on a 30-day mission trip to Japan. And this is an AMA where I'm just opening it up to the internet and saying, if you want to talk about it, we can talk about it, because that sounds like it's fun. If I have, what can I talk about? I guess I can say anything that's like purpose and calling. Let's start there. Purpose and calling. So one of the biggest issues I've had in my life has been purpose and calling. And is there a chat? Chat filter, top messages. Chat filter, all messages. I want to see all the messages. Remember when da 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 da. Okay. So, all right, that sounds cool. Okay, great. So, man, let me tell you that one of the biggest issues that I've had in my life, as far as what am I supposed to do? I guess every millennial has had that, but that's been one of the biggest issues in my life, in my heart. It's weighed heavily. It's haunted me. It's like, what am I supposed to do with my life? Where am I supposed to go? How am I supposed to behave? I remember back in high school, the Navy wanted me, and they tried to sell me the pipe dream, and I ended up saying, I didn't say no. At first I was like, well, I want to talk to my mom about it. My dad might be fine, but I want to talk to my mom about it. And he was like, okay. And one of the penultimate question was, the penultimate question was, I need to pray about it. I need to hear what God has to say. And the recruiter said to me, I feel like I was sent by God to give you this opportunity. And when he said that, my ears turned off immediately, and something about his disposition just beamed, and I was able to recognize that, oh, I get it. This guy comes to a ghetto school. You know, he comes to a ghetto school, and yes, I might have great grades. I really did have great grades in school, in public school, but he must have seen me as a mark. You know, minority dude, poor school, poor social economic background, and and he's smart. I can take him. And at that moment, I canceled out, and I was like, no, because how can someone weaponize the creator of the universe like that? I was like, no, this ain't it. So, with that, I tried to find other things. My dad wanted me to work with him back when I was a kid, when I was a teenage, late teen, early 20s, and I went to college for a semester because I couldn't afford the rest. That didn't work out. I worked for Dom's Pizza. It's a pizzeria where it doesn't exist anymore, and I worked there, and that sucked because it sucked. And then I worked with my dad full time, and always looking for direction, because I felt mindless. I felt, what am I supposed to be doing? Yeah, I'm helping out my dad. Yeah, I'm making money ish. I could have made a whole lot more, but I contributed to the welfare of our apartment. So I didn't make as much as I could have. I didn't save as much as I could have either, but that there's that. So I've always been in that, what am I supposed to do with my life? My dad went on to be with the Lord. I owned a business, and I thought that would be something satisfactory, something sufficient. It wasn't sufficient. I got married, still married. I have some other achievements, but it wasn't it. And so I've always had this thing about my life regarding faith in Jesus Christ, and it was that I received a missionary calling in my life, to be a missionary, and that happened when I was 13 years old. Now, I had enough consciousness within me to be like, oh, well, there's not much I can do as a missionary at 13. I tried to I tried to do some volunteer work at a seminary here in Central Florida, and that never happened because I just didn't know. I didn't know how to live. I still don't know. Audio slave. Show me how to live. I don't know how to live. And so that part of me that's like, okay, I want to be a missionary. That's been the thing that has always been consistent. Even when I started going to do my master's. So my undergraduate was in English literature. And I went for a graduate degree in business. That didn't work out because it wasn't meant to be. That wasn't. I didn't have skin in the game. I didn't want to be a shark and lascivious for money. I wasn't. That's not what I was. That's not it. So when I became serious about missions, and then I saw that teaching was an option. Then I was like, well, let me try teaching. So I studied teaching, and I got a master's degree in education. And it's TESOL, Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages. I have a lot of videos in my channel. And so I decided to pursue that because it was it was in accordance with that calling, and I've been seeing a lot of fruit because of that. The teaching has helped me out as I'm teaching young adults in my at my church that I go to. I'm the Sunday school teacher for young adults, and that's been very edifying. And the skill has been helpful. I did teach at a public school level, and I can't teach at public school, not because I'm not able, but it's all the horror stories are true, and I want it to be better, but the system broke me, and that makes me mad. It still makes me mad to this day that it wasn't my fault that I quit. It wasn't I just couldn't deal in a system that wanted to pass every single kid. That all it takes is all it takes is the ability to smooth talk your way into answers, and so I quit. And my health has been a lot better since. And right now, that time since I quit to now, it has given me the time to actually plan this mission trip with a lot of poise, like a lot of poise and understanding. What is it? Poison, understanding. What is it? The song. But so I'm like a couple days away from the mission trip. There's still some things I don't know. Oh yeah, as far as purpose and calling. There's still some things I don't know, but I think that's quite fine. Now that in life, like, you're not going to know everything, no matter how well you plan it in your life. Like, okay, and congratulations, you become a doctor. Well, you got millions, if not hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debt. You got to pay that back. And it's not just that. You need to go to symposiums and do all sorts of continuing education as a doctor. And there's so much more, right? There's so much more. The learning never stops, but what pushes you through, and this is what I notice about your purpose, is that you want it. You want it more. So like Cristiano Ronaldo and Kobe, they could never be an athlete for another thing, because it was always that sport. I'm not saying that they didn't have a drive. I'm not saying that drive is compatible with different sports. The taste for that sport, they wouldn't have had it for another. It had to be soccer. It had to be basketball. Look what Michael Jordan did. You think Michael Jordan was like jumping on to from one sport to another? Nah. He stunk as a baseball player. He stunk. Now look at Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson, entirely different player. Bo Jackson, it worked out because Bo Jackson was more of an athlete. That's what made the difference. Bo Jackson's calling purpose was athleticism, not just a specific sport. I'm not saying that he didn't enjoy any of the specific sports or was more fruitful in the specific sports. I am saying that Kobe was a basketball player. Michael Jordan, basketball player. Cristiano Ronaldo, soccer player. Not a track star. What's his name? Usain Bolt, track star, not a soccer player. But no. So the difference is that with your purpose and your calling, when the things stink, you still do those things, even if they stink, because that's what you want to do. So, I've run into a lot of obstacles as regarding planning a mission trip, and I guess this could be the second thing. So I did purpose and calling. So the obstacles, of course, language. Man, language is scary. Language is going to be a major obstacle, but what is more superior than language is communication. Communication will always trump language, because with communication you have intention. With communication, all it does is require an open mind. So as long as a hearer is willing to participate in the exchange, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. And if you're as a listener, well, when it's your turn to be a listener, if you engage in active participation as well, that's major helpful too. So language as it is will be an obstacle. So much of culture is tied into language, and I was able to learn about that, specifically that poise, the attention to grammar. Of course, grammar changes within all levels of society. You know, it's socioeconomic when it comes to grammar. You know, like, and it goes in the same here in Japan. Tokyo, you know, more Keigo than Osaka. Osaka is, from what I'm gathering, is much more relaxed. But both Tokyo and Osaka is major different than Okinawa. And that island paradise grammar is different than the Inaka rural grammar of the people in Yamagata. So as far as culture goes, a farm person is always going to be a farm person. Here I'm around right now, like a lot of farm people who own horses and cows and stuff, like big breeds. That's cool. And I think I'll be more used to people in Japan who come from that background. Like, I was in Orlando for a lot of my life, so when it comes to being like socially in tune, and as far as interactions, I'll be good with that. The third thing, I guess, is what's surprised me the most has been the sudden issues. I'm forgetting what they're called. There's a book on business, and there's a word for these bottlenecks, I guess you can say. One of the bottlenecks that deterred me is these sudden things that just pop in your head, like how am I gonna make money? How am I gonna get cash? What is the process for using a Shinkansen? You know, the JR pass and getting a train, local train. What is the actual what are the actual distances that from one place to another? You know, how far can I actually walk from one place to another? Those have been issues that have come up that they kind of help me define, you know, they help me define the trip, and I can see things a little more clearly. Of course, I'm not going by myself, I'm going with my wife, so her level of comfort, trying to be considerate. You know, I could just sleep on the street if it was me. So, yeah, I could sleep on the street. But I, you know, I do care for her excitement, her interest. Um, so that's been an issue. That was something that it causes me to be alert, and it actually ends up helping. It ends up helping in the long run, I guess. So I guess another thing that this mission trip has helped me with has been just what is it like? The importance of the actual, you know, task, the actual gospel task of, you know, going out into the world and preaching the gospel. You know, as many people that say they've gone and done missions doesn't necessarily qualify them as missionaries. And this is the part where I sound like elitist about something I've never done before, but you know, the Bible says you will know them by their fruit. And you know, if you step onto a soccer field, I like soccer. If you step onto a soccer field, you know, oh, no, this guy's not trying to play around. This guy's serious about what he's doing. I gotta drop something off at the Goodwill. Give me a quick second. I gotta drop something. I got a lot of some things I gotta drop off at the Goodwill. Slow down. Store hours. Am I still? Yeah, I'm still here. New store, please. Donations accepted here. Let's see. New store hours, 6 p.m. Right. I was like, oh man, am I supposed to walk in? I bought one and someone gave me one. Yeah. That's all.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Whew, that was exhausting. Well, just had to drop some stuff off because I am cleaning. My wife and I are doing some cleaning of, or doing housekeeping, I guess. There you go. And yeah, to get rid of some stuff. So yeah, the gatekeeping. I hate to say it like that, but I can't just, like, you know full well when people, like, they say you know full well when there are people who say, like, oh yeah, I'm all about this, and then they're really not. So there's some teenagers out there who say they've gone on mission trips, And my biggest what my biggest offense to that is, have you really? So it's not that all missionaries are called to go to the heart of darkness in Africa. Going to Africa, that's, by the way, just, that's weird to say. Yet you're going to the continent of Africa. Like, what nation are you going to? That's come on, like, it's a weird thing. I don't like it when people these are human beings. Like, it's like, say their country. Do you know where you're going? Like, did God call you to a place? So most of these teenagers from these very lucrative churches, they send these teenagers out on feel-good missions, and it's meant to reinforce to the teenager, look how good you have it in your financially established country. And teenagers come back with pictures of a bunch of smiling kids. You've seen them, it's disgusting. A bunch of kids, smiling kids. The teenagers always looks a little disheveled, but they're disheveled cutely, whatever. And that's not what missions is. Like, it's not that. Okay, so I've always been debating this with myself, because it's like, okay, I get it. Not all the missionaries are Pauline, where you're dying as a martyr, you're getting you're getting stoned near death. I get that. All right, you're not everyone is meant to suffer in this horrific way. And the converse of that is, well, missions isn't just, painting church buildings. Why do people need you to paint? Did you just waste $2,000, $2,500 maybe, to go to Kenya to paint a church wall? That's so dumb. They don't need you for that. There are things that, what's your trade? How about that? What is the thing that you do? Are you an English teacher? That's needed. Are you a nurse, or you're in medicine? They need that. Medical missions is very important. Are you a pastor looking to start church? To start churches in the country, and there's other types of mission work that you could possibly do. But what's your trade? Oh, I play with kids. Great. Why don't you have some? And I don't know. Just I get old man curmudgeoned when it comes to missions and stuff, because coming from a poor background, I don't need someone to come and tell me something that I can just read in the Bible. And especially I don't need it from a child. So so you know them by their fruit. So you will know someone who has a missionary calling because they're a distinct type of person. Evangelism is something that's forward facing for them. Caring about the lost, important, So I think that's the thing that I do when it comes to, my talents are in that. How can I say it? I can do other work. I've had conversations with my pastor and my wife where it's why is it that nothing makes sense except missions? And why why do I feel bad about not getting an average 9 to 5? And the thing has been, well, maybe life isn't what people have made it out to be. Maybe the American dream is wrong. Maybe the American 9 to 5 is wrong. How about, I don't know, going, like, not about, it's not about working, it's about what you do. And I was like, hold on, like, why don't I just, if God provides my daily bread and my wife is fine and we're at a good place in our lives, why do I need to live by standards that are stereotypical standards? Why do I need a white picket fence? Why do I need, So I have some chores to do. And I don't want to like take the phone with me and have to do all that. This has been fun. I haven't done a live stream that's been this long for this long of time. So this has been very fun. Wish you guys the best. Thank you for watching. Maybe the live stream will be up by the time, maybe the live stream will be up later. So God bless and take care.